This is the land of dawn, the Serengeti. Upon the grassy plains of this African savanna, extraordinary creatures first saw the light of day. A descendant of the dinosaurs, virtually unchanged for 190 million years. A mammal that grows to a height of 18 feet. A gregarious water bird. And a recent arrival in the animal world, man, a two-legged, tool-using member of the primate family. It was on this savanna that human life evolved. Man has probably been here ever since the ancestors of humankind left the forests of Central Africa. What drew them is what draws people still, millions of years later, an abundance of animal life. The Maasai tribe call this vast plain Serengeti, or Great Open Space. One reason many creatures survived here over the ages is that these tropics did not endure the extreme climate changes of the Ice Age. It was East Africa's reliable water supply and abundant vegetation that supported the wildlife. The Masai Mara, Kenya's portion of the Serengeti ecosystem, is home for almost 100 species of mammals, reptiles and amphibians, and more than 300 kinds of birds. Many people come to East Africa to see the Big Five: African elephants, black rhinoceroses, African buffaloes, lions, and leopards.
It was not like a herd of cattle or of sheep, because it was wild.
Wrote aviatrix Beryl Markham in her autobiography, West with the Night.
And it carried with it the stamp of wilderness and the freedom of a land still more a possession of nature than of men. To see 10,000 animals untamed and not branded with the symbols of human commerce is like scaling an unconquered mountain for the first time, or like finding a forest without roads or footpaths or the blemish of an axe.
Each summer, thousands and more than 1 million wildebeest migrate north into the Masai Mara. This annual spectacle is one of the greatest shows on Earth. Because of their numbers, the wildebeest often takes center stage. With its bull-like head and horse-like flanks, the wildebeest, or white-bearded gnu, is a strange-looking attraction. Once described as something made out of spare parts by a committee, the wildebeest travels about 1,000 miles each year in search of water and green grass. In January, when the monsoons blow in from the northeast, the wildebeest leave the Masai Mara, following rain clouds south into neighboring Tanzania. With them come fellow travelers. After the fellow travelers come the predators. And after the predators, scavengers. Each year, thousands of wildebeest die crossing the Mara River as they head south to the Serengeti. It is the calcium-rich grass on the plains that lures them, even at the risk of their lives. The Serengeti Plain stretches between Lake Victoria and the Crater Lake Highlands. Exactly where the animals go depends on changing conditions of weather, terrain, and food supply. Hyenas and flamingos, predator and prey alike, need water. Each animal in its own way must solve life's great riddle: how to eat without being eaten. Leopards are known to kill for the sake of killing, and are able to adapt to many kinds of habitat. And like man, they tend to mate for life. Omnivorous man is at the top of the food chain. The Maasai were once nomadic, following wild herds across the Serengeti. According to Maasai traditions, Enkai, the creator, gave grass, animals, and milk to his people. Although the Maasai consider it their right to hunt all the wildlife in their region, they are natural conservationists and usually hunt only buffalo and elands. The Maasai's coexistence with wild animals is part of their heritage. Unfortunately, some of the Serengeti species are threatened by poachers. Protecting the wildlife of the Serengeti will enable future generations to witness the wonder of life in this land of Genesis. To behold this great migration is to share a timeless experience unchanged since the dawn of man.